Most people searching Miami say they want a suburb that's about to explode in 2026. And the truth is, Miami doesn't really work like that. It's a patchwork of micro markets, and the growth is concentrating in a very few lanes that I sell. When you look at what is already being built, approved, and connected, a clear story shows up. And that's why in this video, I'm going to be breaking down which 5 Miami pockets have the clearest growth signals heading into 2026. What is driving demand in each lane, because it's not the same story, and how to pick the right one based on lifestyle, risk, and total cost of ownership. I help buyers make Miami decisions with the real variables in mind. My job is to help you avoid expensive surprises. All right, let's jump into the 5 Miami areas with the strongest momentum heading into 2026. Starting with the lane where mobility and waterfront development are stacking on top of each other. And that's Brickell. Brickell is the financial epicenter of Miami and an entryway of the financial markets of Latin America. It is density, it's walkability, it has an energy. We call it the Manhattan of the South. But that's not doing it justice. Why? Because it's tropical, it's Miami. When I say walkability, I mean you can walk anywhere and everywhere, and that's not normal for Miami. First off, many times it's too hot, or everything is too far away. But in Brickell, everything is right there. And how New York has the High Line, well, Brickell has the Underline. And the Underline is not just a park. This infrastructure is completely new and is changing Miami. It starts from the Miami River in Brickell, and it heads 10 linear miles with jogging paths, biking paths, gardens, dog parks. There's basketball, there's chess set up. There's everything you could possibly want, and it's right all under the Metro Rail and Metro Mover in the city, well, the neighborhood of Brickell. When I think Brickell, I think young professionals, people looking to meet people, looking to do business. There are more banks in Brickell than there are in any other city in the United States besides Manhattan. And many of these banks, they are international banks with branches in Miami and in the countries where they come from, like Banco do Brasil, right? It's a really fun place to live. With that being said, it's not for everybody. Maybe it's too busy, maybe it's too loud. Honestly, I think Brickell has something for everybody, but you have to ask yourself, do I want to live in the heart of it all? Because Brickell, it's got a heartbeat, it's got energy. It's global capital territory. It's not cheap, but it's always in demand. And now remember, just like anywhere that has condos, condo underwriting is really important. If you're looking to buy in Brickell, we need to do a deep dive into the reserves of the condo association and the risk for special assessments. I want to know where they're located, what the elevation is, because that's going to tell us what the insurance reality is going to be. And in Brickell, it's block by block variability. Traffic and noise are trade-offs, but also there's Lower Brickell, there's the West Brickell, and there's the heart of Brickell. So depending where you want to live, depending on the energy level, that's really going to give you an understanding of what part of Brickell may be for you. I always ask people first, what kind of lifestyle are you going for? Do you mind hearing the train from your condo? Or are you looking for a water view? Do you want to walk to the craziness but not be in the middle of it? That tells me more about your lifestyle, and then I can kind of pinpoint what buildings and what area of Brickell that's for you. Now, Brickell is about walkability and convenience, living in the financial epicenter of Miami. But the next pocket is different. It's driven by master planned downtown build out, and this is still unfolding. Downtown Miami, let me tell you, downtown is exploding right now. Downtown has many different areas too. You have the Miami World Center on the north side of downtown with multiple projects being delivered in 2026. So Miami World Center is a real thing, and it is transforming downtown Miami. But it's focused on the northern part of downtown Miami, close to the new Signature Bridge and the double-decker highway that is being built right now, connecting the 836 Dolphin Expressway to the MacArthur Causeway, which leads into Miami Beach. So that is the northern side and the boundary of downtown. And that's where Miami World Center is. Miami World Center is going to be just west of the main line of buildings on Biscayne, but they are building a brand new neighborhood. Imagine the foresight that a developer has to have in order to invest billions and billions of dollars, really changing the fabric of this neighborhood. So downtown is being built in real time. You know, Miami World Center is not a hype. This is a multi-year catalyst of progress. 2026 deliveries keep bringing more and more foot traffic and more retail to the area. You know, the delivery pipelines create momentum. The new buildings that come online bring hundreds, if not thousands, of new residents to the area, and that is a catalyst for new businesses. So if you're looking to move to an area that is still very walkable, but has a lot of room for growth and development, well, downtown Miami is a place where you can literally witness the growth and the change of what's happening. You move in today, and 5 years from now, it's a completely different neighborhood, and for the better. The beautiful thing about downtown is that it's the hustle and bustle of the city, but right across the street, you have the Carrez Art Museum, you have the Frost Science Museum, you've got big open parks, dog park for little dogs, a dog park for big dogs. You've got the amphitheater. It's just, there's so much right there in front of you. Brickell living, but with more green space. Now, just like anywhere with condos, you really have to underwrite the building and the street, because what the view that you have today may change, because there's a lot of new things popping up. So you really want to know what's going on. And the thing is, because there's a master plan, I can tell you exactly what's happening on each block, what buildings are coming where, what lifestyle you're going to have in this neighborhood, this part of the neighborhood, what lifestyle you're going to have in the north part of the neighborhood as opposed to the central or to the south part of downtown. So there's just a lot of things going on. And downtown, it's very exciting. So if you're looking to move to an area that's going to grow around you for the better, I'd say downtown is it. Now, let's talk about number 3, Edgewater. Edgewater is waterfront living in huge high-rises with, coming soon, Baywalk connectivity. Now, Edgewater buyers are typically buyers who love Brickell but want more waterfront and less intensity. And the Baywalk expansion, let me tell you, it's a slow burn, but it's real. The Baywalk up from the 395 down to the 195, connecting all of the finger islands of Edgewater, is coming. A big project that is not only going to strengthen the seawall in those areas, but it's going to have a nice walking path similar to what you have on Miami Beach, where they connected the beach walks from all the way south to north. That's going to be Edgewater. So I'm very excited for that. And you have new towers being approved every day along the Biscayne corridor. Now, just so that you know, Edgewater is from the MacArthur Causeway to the Julia Tuttle, Biscayne Boulevard to the water. That's Edgewater. If you're going west of Biscayne Boulevard, you have different neighborhoods. What do I mean? So, North Edgewater is across from Midtown and the Design District, where Central Edgewater is across from Wynwood. Well, South Edgewater is going to be on the border of northern part of downtown and next to the Performing Arts Center. So Edgewater really varies depending on where you're going to live. And just like anything, I ask everybody, what kind of lifestyle are you looking for? Because if you want the walkability, then it's going to be South Edgewater. If you want to be close to the Design District, close to the highway that's going to lead you to the airport, I'd say North Edgewater. But if you want something a little bit more quiet, Central Edgewater has that, but is right across from the wild nights of Wynwood. So where you want to be matters. In Edgewater, your lifestyle will also vary depending on what part of Edgewater you're going to be in. Now, some things to think about in Edgewater. Because it's on the bay, you need to think about wind exposure, flood insurance, what your insurance cost is going to be, and what new buildings are being built, because Edgewater is an area that is really under development, and there's a lot of potential for new construction of low rises and high rises. So I'd say if you have a beautiful view of the water in Edgewater, but you're not right on the water, and there is a vacant lot across from you or a small low rise, I'd say don't plan on keeping that view forever. Just like any bustling part of metropolis, you have a lot of growth. And so you need to know, where are you, what's coming, and what are your risks associated from being on this particular area. I'd say the newer buildings are going to be your best bet, as some of the older buildings are probably going to be wiped out. But I'll tell you, I had a client one time that asked me where he should invest his money. And I told him, based on his budget, let's look for an older building on the bay in Edgewater, because I know for a fact in the next building cycle, the developers are going to start buying up those units. And he was able to spend about $150,000 on a really old studio in a 1960s building that he was able to sell within 3 years for over $500,000, because the developer is buying it. Why? Because the old buildings have parking lots and the new buildings have parking built inside them. So he was able to 5x his money because he listened to me. Because when you look at the old buildings, you can put 2 or 3 towers there, and that's actually what happened. So look up Paraiso District. There was an old building there. Now there are 3 luxury high-rises with a lot more space and a lot more retail and a restaurant on the water. So you definitely have a lot of potential and possibility for growth in Edgewater, depending on the lifestyle that you want. If you're in for waterfront and vertical growth, well, Edgewater may be for you. But the next lane wins differently. With limited land, lifestyle brand, and constant demand pressure, we have the neighborhood of Coconut Grove. Constrained supply and a lifestyle premium is Coconut Grove. Coconut Grove tightens because land is very limited. Not only is land limited, but also it has a lot of the high ground. And that's why Coconut Grove was one of the first neighborhoods established in the city of Miami. It is an amazing place to live, to grow. And that's why a lot of people, they move there and they don't move away. And there's a lot of new growth happening. You have the Regatta Harbor and a lot of new luxury brands that are moving in. So the Ritz-Carlton has always been in Coconut Grove, or at least since I remember. But now you have the Four Seasons. You've got Mr. C Residences, which is a Cipriani affiliated. Park Grove. A lot of these beautiful, big, 5-star luxury high-rises are in Coconut Grove. But Coconut Grove isn't just high-rises. Coconut Grove is high-rises because they're really limited on land. But where people really want to live, where people really move for the lifestyle of Coconut Grove, is to single-family homes or luxury townhomes that are walking distance to the downtown. So don't forget, everything differs block by block. The flood elevation is going to be different. The lifestyle is going to be a little bit different. If you're on the north end of Coconut Grove, for example, beautiful neighborhoods, tree-lined streets, a gorgeous canopy, great for walking, biking, jogging, really just enjoying yourself, but it's a little bit off the beaten path from the downtown. It's walking distance to the park, but if you're looking to go out to a restaurant, you probably want to be in central and in south part of Coconut Grove. In Coconut Grove, you're paying for a lifestyle premium versus square footage. So the price per square foot, although can vary, I'd say starts around $1,000 a square foot. The Grove, you're paying for lifestyle. You're also paying for prestige and structured stability. The Grove is lifestyle scarcity, where the last pocket that we're going to mention today is anchored by prestige and structured stability. That is Coral Gables. In Coral Gables, you have prestige, identity, and a reinvestment cycle. The Gables buyer is shopping for living in Coral Gables and not really sensitive to price per square foot. You're shopping for the architecture, the structure of the streets and the neighborhood, and the stability of Coral Gables. Where you have intensity in Brickell and areas like downtown, Coral Gables is more about luxury, about taking your time and not being on a schedule. Coral Gables is walking through beauty. I always say that it's like living in a Spanish soap opera in the 1920s and 30s because of the architecture, but that really had to do with the master plan. In Coral Gables is about lifestyle, luxury, golf courses, social clubs, the Miracle Mile, amazing schools, great parks, big trees, old growth, 100+ year trees, big banyan trees. It's an amazing, beautiful place to live. And it's very scarce to come across a home on a prime street because people will inherit these homes. You live in the Golden Triangle, if that property goes on the market, it is gone the next day. And people aren't looking at the price. They're looking at the location. Coral Gables rivals Beverly Hills. But flood insurance still matters. So where you live, the elevation, how old the home is, all these things play a part. And if you want to live in Coral Gables, get in line. Now, how do you choose the right lane for you? If you're looking for connectivity and density, well, then you want to move to Brickell. But if you want to be in the city core that's building out right now, watching the city grow and mature all around you, it's downtown. If you're looking for a waterfront without the intensity of Brickell, then Edgewater. If you want lifestyle brand and constraint, well then that's Coconut Grove. But if you're going for prestige and stability, well then, Coral Gables. These neighborhoods have to fit your personality. So again, I always ask, what is the lifestyle that you're going for? It really helps me kind of position you in the neighborhood that I think would best suit you. Now, there are some mistakes that buyers make, and that's picking the prettiest listing before picking the lane, figuring out the neighborhood that you really want to live in based on your lifestyle. Also, people shop by labels rather than micro-location and building rules. Maybe you're working with somebody who doesn't know how to underwrite the condo or the financials and doesn't understand insurance and flood exposure and the inventory that could affect your resale. Now, those three things can be mistakes. This is my expertise. If you are thinking about moving to Miami in 2026 and you want to sanity check the lane, the building, flood exposure, and the real monthly costs beyond the mortgage, reach out. The link is in the description to schedule a quick call. I'm Milton Andrade, and I help buyers and sellers across Miami, especially Coconut Grove, Coral Gables, Shenandoah, Silver Bluff, The Roads, Brickell, downtown, Edgewater, and Morningside. And I will tell you what is exactly happening in your specific pocket and price point right now, so you can get in early without guessing.